2020 committee and would like to welcome you to the FleetPros first virtual FleetCon conference. The committee and I were looking forward to the 2020 conference in Colorado this year. We had great topics, great location with multiple opportunities and events to network with professional leaders and exhibitors in our industry. I'd like to thank the committee for all the hard work they put into planning for the past year. Our business managers, we got Heather and Francis and Megan. We got Chris Dempsey, Jennifer Hopkins, Ron Forrester, John Gonzalez, Dave Anderson, and Eric Butts. They're all from the Colorado board. And we had an exciting conference, set and ready, definitely to entertain and give us those opportunities to network. So let's see here. So I guess, you know, if you get a chance to visit Colorado in the Loveland area, so a little taste of what you might have experienced. We had some food planned from Nordy's Barbecue, which is well known in Colorado. Mash Lab Brewing Company. We're a great brewery, built inside of a custom car facility, custom car builds. We had an arcade competition at the summit planned for one of the evenings. And just you know, an incredible, those that have been out to Colorado, the Embassy Suites and Convention Center was a great setting. So just a couple things. If you guys don't get a chance, the Colorado board will do everything they can to visit these locations and have a little bit of fun for you. So the in-person interaction will be missed this year. I personally enjoy that the most in our organization. Over the next several months, our goal is to stay connected and focused on current fleet challenges. Just a quick note, if you're following the fleet news here recently, congratulations to the city of Fort Collins and Denver International Airport, both here in Colorado. They both were awarded leading fleet award winners through Government Fleet and APWA. So congratulations to those guys. They got great teams and definitely leaders in the industry. So let's see here where we're at. So this session is 90 minutes. We have a great speaker to give us an update on the industry news, and then we will break into separate Zoom meeting rooms for discussion in small groups. You'll be randomly assigned and do not need to take any action, but do participate. This is an opportunity to share ideas, challenges, questions, and potential solutions. Let's see here. Some examples of the conversations when you get into the groups. You know, share your thoughts on what Paul Loria, you know, what comes from his presentation. Describe your method of, you know, the sanitation that we're having to go through in our fleet operations. Suppliers, are you guys, you know, the difficulties and kind of where you're at with, you know, the supplies. How's your budget? You've been impacted with your, you know, with everything going on. I'm sure we all have. And, you know, number one challenge, you know, right now, what is it? What keeps you up at night? So, and then last, we'll finish up with some announcements from the FleetPros board president, Harold. Sorry. Had to make all the calls on pronouncing these last names, right? So, so anyways, Let's move on to our featured speaker. I'd like to thank Paul for joining us. Paul Loria is the president of Mercury Associates, Inc., North America's largest fleet management consulting firm. He has worked extensively with cities and counties throughout the United States and Canada, and has also conducted presentations, workshops, consulting assignments in North and South America, the Caribbean, Europe, Middle East, Asia, and Australia. Well, he's getting around there. Hopefully you put some vacation into that as well, right? Let's see, before co-founding Mercury in 2002, Paul was vice president in Maximus, Inc., and a senior manager in Ernst & Young. He holds a master's degree in transportation planning from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Paul is joined by Steve Saltzgiver, manager with Mercury Associates, Inc. Over his extensive career, he has a rather unique perspective, having served at virtually every organizational level, holding various roles in private and non-profit establishments. Leading process improvements, teams, and cost reduction initiatives, optimizing complex maintenance operations, and executing comprehensive talent management programs. So, Paul, welcome. We're excited to hear, giving decision makers necessary, but not necessarily welcome news. So, Paul, we'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Gus. Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to join you. I wish we were going to Loveland, probably a little bit nicer than, sitting in our home offices, in my case, in a basement. But this is actually where I started Mercury Associates 18 years ago. More investment of some sort. So all of these are characteristics of the industry that we work in that existed before COVID-19 came along. So I think it's fair to say that we're in for some rough sledding ahead. An already complex and evolving profession is becoming more challenging. Much conventional wisdom about fleet management is becoming obsolete and needs to change. Some examples include run them till the wheels fall off. Okay, historically, there was a certain amount of validity to this kind of philosophy, but because of the increasing technological complexity, that's really not a valid perspective anymore. Insource as much maintenance and repair work as possible. Our mechanics can fix anything. I mean, let's face it, there are a lot of fleet management organizations, certainly throughout my career, who do not like that, the O word or the P word, privatization. They find that threatening. And the prevailing sentiment has been, why would we want to pay outside vendors? And, outsourcing is certainly not a panacea, but when you think about some of these challenges that I just went over, it certainly should be one of the tools in any jurisdictions, any fleet owner's toolkits for making sure that asset management needs are met effectively. Buy vehicles. It's always cheaper than leasing. The government has not been, for the most part, practitioners of fleet leasing. There's certainly a lot of government jurisdictions that finance the purchase of vehicles with debt, but there has been a resistance to doing that with consequences in terms of the age of a lot of city and county and state government fleets. Because what we've found over the years is that organizations, whether they're in the public sector or private sector, big or small, that purchase vehicles outright with cash, tend to have older fleets. So, successfully navigating these changes is clearly going to require effective engagement with decision makers. So, And again, even if COVID-19 had not come along, these are challenges that have becoming clearer and clearer for the last few years that fleet professionals need to come to grips with. Based on past recessions, I think this is the 5th recession that I've worked through in my consulting career. Some aspects of the pandemic are pretty predictable. What are we seeing happen? What do we expect to happen? Recent government fleet survey found that 80% of respondents expect a decrease in their budget in the coming fiscal year. Hardly a surprise there. My personal expectation is that we're going to be in for at least a couple, 2 to 3 years of pretty tough budgets. Longer term directives that we're likely to see include directives to downsize the fleet, to reduce replacement reserve fund balances for those jurisdictions that use replacement reserves, to investigate outsourcing and leasing, to curtail take-home use of vehicles, perhaps to curtail use of personally owned vehicles, mileage reimbursement as well. So all of these things are really intended to reduce fleet-related costs as quickly as possible. What are some of the other likely impacts of the pandemic, things that some of you are already experiencing? Certainly higher fleet operating costs due to vehicle and facility sanitizing and social distancing requirements. Lower fleet operating costs due to reductions in the use of vehicles for travel to face-to-face meetings. So directives to right size or to revisit the size of a fleet are not necessarily misplaced when you think about the fact that in the future, it is likely that a lot more business that is done using light duty vehicles to go to face-to-face meetings, either whether that's with other fellow employees in a government jurisdiction or clients, for example, of a social services agency, are going to be done using virtual meetings. I think that there may be an increased interest in the use of personally owned vehicles for business travel, where the onus for sanitizing those vehicles and maintaining and repairing them really rests with the employee. I think it's safe to say that because of the upfront costs involved, we're going to see reduced enthusiasm and funding for fleet electrification. Even if we have a new Democrat administration in Washington next January, I think that the federal government has taken on so much indebtedness.
Is canceled. The in-person is canceled due to the obvious reasons of COVID-19. And we're going to continue to do this format for a few more sessions. And the reason why we're doing this is because we still at least want to show a presence to our membership. We have our members that are paying dues to us. We want to make sure we are an added value to your organization and to your organization, and to at least still provide a platform and some education for everybody. Go to the next slide. Oh, and just so everybody knows as well, for the, I'm sorry, go back, Heather. For the FleetCon 2020 in Loveland, Colorado, we have spoken to all of our speakers, to all the vendors that we were working with, and anybody who had paid into it have been refunded. We're still working with the hotel to finalize all cancellations with them too. It's been a little bit difficult. I know a lot of the hotels don't have people working right now, so at some point we'll be able to finalize that with them. And then the next slide. I just want to give a quick congratulations to Mr. Eric Van Hofwegen from the Arizona chapter for becoming our new FleetPros Board Secretary. So I just want to publicly welcome Mr. Eric Van Hofwegen to the National Board. And I know him personally, so I know he's going to do a great job for the organization as a secretary.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And as of today, we are still a go for FleetCon 2021 in, I always get this wrong, so Texas, please forgive me for the actual location. It's going to be in Round Rock, Texas. For some reason, I keep wanting to say Rockland, so I'm sorry, Texas chapter, for continuing to butcher that. but it's going to be at the Kalahari Resort in Round Rock, Texas, just right outside of Austin. This is going to be a little bit of a different experience, I think, than previous conferences. The main reason is because this resort is a very family-oriented resort. Just a few of the pictures you see here on the slide. They have a massive indoor swimming pool slide facility. Basically, your outdoor, swimming. Out here in Arizona, we have Big Surf, and I'm sure there's different water parks everywhere across the country. So it's a massive water park indoors with bowling, movie theaters. I mean, everything you can think of that is very family-oriented. And we decided to do this because, we wanted to have our members, potentially bring their family with them to enjoy their stay and also have an opportunity, just to get away from everything. So please mark your calendars, August 30th through September 1st of 2021. You can go to the Kalahari Resorts website to see what they have to offer. This is a brand new facility that should be opening up at the end of this calendar year. So that should be pretty exciting for us. Also, FleetCon 2022 is scheduled to be in Las Vegas. I think it's been quite a while since we've been in Las Vegas. We have been working closely with the Southern Nevada Fleet Managers Group to help us with this conference. We have in our Nevada chapter, it's primarily made up of the northern part of the state. There's really nothing in between, just I think one town and some rattlesnakes. But then when you get down to Las Vegas, it's a huge area, obviously, that we want to make sure that we bring them, as partners in with us, because they will be integral to helping us with this conference. And it will be a very central located, easy place to go, easy flights to get in and out of Las Vegas on a continuous basis. So we're very excited to go out to Las Vegas to have our 2022 conference. Another announcement, we're still continuing our partnership with Napa. I think many remember last calendar year, our initial agreement that we had with Napa expired. We now have a new agreement with them, and you can find it on our website at fleetpros.org. You can see here on this slide what it looks like on our website. And if you have any questions in regards to any of the certifications that Napa provides, please let our business services team know, and they'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. Also know that all the testing has been moved to online. There is, at this point, Heather, if I am correct, there is no in-person testings that are being offered by Napa.
Correct.
So, great. Next slide. And lastly, I just want to remind everybody, and I know that part of our conversations were about budgets and the cuts to our budgets. We do have membership dues that are out right now, and please, if you do have any issues with budgetary reasons that you cannot pay our membership, the membership fee for 2020, please reach out to the business management team, to Heather and her team, to further discuss how we can help, how we can assist. We really want to make sure that we keep you, with us, and because we know that you are important to our organization. I think through now, we've collected about 45% of our membership dues. We want to just keep up to date with everybody out there, re-engage everybody, so we're ready after the pandemic is over. Hopefully, we return to some sort of normal, that we have everybody re-engaged and ready to go again in our organization. So again, please reach out to the business services team. Don't be afraid, so that we can go ahead and keep you up to date. And lastly, that's all I have. I think a poll was pushed out right now in regard to today's event. Again, we're going to have a few more of these. We'll have topics set up for the different type of conversations that we can have. Again, this is a very open discussion. It's free. So when you do receive the invitation, please push it out to anybody else that you may know, even if they're not part of our organization currently, but would like to see what we're about and what we have to offer, please shoot the invitation out to them as well, as we want to make sure that we reach out to as many people as we can. If you have any additional feedback, please send it to our business services team. You can find their email on our website at fleetpros.org. And besides that, please fill out the poll. And everybody, please stay safe and healthy, and we hope to see you for the next time.
Thank you, everybody. This was good.
Everybody take care.
Thanks for being here.
All right, thank you, everyone.
Have a
Yes.
good day.